to immobilize this vehicle. You can damage it on the jump sometimes and continue driving with it like this. Available to us. We're going to be starting off with the all-terrain version, which is like the basic off-road version of the truck, and then the other ones are more specialized. So it says tuned for a balance between handling and jumping on all surfaces. A good all-rounder. So we'll go ahead and spawn this thing up, and from my research, both the model for the vehicle and the J-beam structure for the vehicle have been custom made for it. It's not reusing parts from any of the stock vehicles or anything like that, except for very minor things like the steering wheel. So with a vehicle like this, we gotta see, how does it drive? And how well does it cope with flying through the air, most importantly? Oh no, that's a big jump. Oh, it did it really well, actually. Like, I flew off that jump really awkwardly. We were flying crooked, flying a ton, and it landed it like a champion. And it's still just going on through jump after jump. Very little problem. Again, a kind of ugly landing there, and it keeps on going. From my experience, though, I feel like this truck can be trusted to fly through the air pretty well. It takes some really big jumps and some really awkward flights to immobilize this vehicle. Although this jump looks pretty big, doesn't it? Oh, that's a really bad flight. Kind of bouncing off the rear of the vehicle, but we're still driving good. Yeah, we lost the spare tires. Drivability-wise, though, this thing's still driving straight. It is unaffected in driving capabilities, even though it has been cosmetically damaged from the impact. As you see, just driving through the sandy terrain, which can sometimes be difficult for cars to drive through, we're maintaining a pretty decent speed. Going up this hill right here, we're still going about 60, 70 miles per hour. There's another big jump. That one had a beautiful landing. The suspension made it so smooth, and I actually had pretty decent alignment as I went through the air. It wasn't all crooked like it was the last few times. Whoa! Brake it too hard. I gotta actually try that out intentionally later on, but what I want to do real quick is see, can we drown the vehicle? Yes, we can. I didn't really doubt the fact that we could, but I saw the water and I felt like I had to test it. Now going back to the other thing I wanted to test out, what we're gonna do is we are just gonna drive for a little bit, get up to speed, and we're gonna slam on the brakes and see if we can do a stoppie. So we're going about 70 miles per hour right here, and then let's see what happens. Yeah, that worked great. I think I timed it perfectly there, because you notice the back end was bouncing just a little bit right when I slammed on the brakes, so I think that helped make it a little bit easier. And I also love just how easily this thing managed to get back onto its wheels. It was effortless. So let's go ahead and do this again. Back end lifts up just a little bit. We slam on the brakes, and another easy flipping stoppy thing. Now let's try that again. This time though, I'm not gonna do it where the back end's bouncing. I want it to be like perfectly level, like right here, and then we just slam on the brakes. Yeah, that's not doing it. You need a little bit of help. Like right here, you got a little bit of help just from that bump, and you can see we weren't even going that fast, and it did it. And actually, since we're talking about the suspension so much, why don't we take a closer look at it? And thankfully, there's a vehicle designed just for that. It's the strip version, which says, with all body panels removed, you can watch the movement of the suspension as you drive. That sounds perfect. And the most interesting thing about this suspension to me is where everything connects up. Everything is so central on this vehicle. The suspension is basically mounted under the driver's chair, and then this whole piece, all the way to the wheel, will move. It's one big piece of suspension. And then there's also this spring right here, which is mounted so close to the center of the vehicle. It's just really interesting to look at how the suspension of this vehicle was designed. And as odd as it looks, it works excellently. So we're gonna go, how about 8 times slow-mo right here, and then you can watch compressed. It digs into the sand a little bit, and it just keeps on going. Barely even felt like the vehicle slowed down. The suspension really makes you feel like a good driver. Like, it gives me confidence in the vehicle. Look at that ugly landing, and the suspension just cleaned it up for me. I don't even have to look at where I'm going. I can just watch the suspension make its moves, and I know this thing is not going to flip over unless we hit a huge jump at one of the worst possible angles, basically. And just watching the suspension here, it's actually kind of mesmerizing. I don't know why, but I could pretty much just sit here all day just watching the vehicle drive like this and watch the suspension do its thing. You can also watch it from the rear and stuff too, but there's not as much to see. Like from the front like this, you can kind of still see it some. But really, that side angle is the best camera you got. And here's another nice jump and beautiful landing once again. So now I want to try out a different version of the vehicle. And to do that, we're actually going to be changing map. We're going to be going over to Bajarama, and we're going to be driving around the Bajarama configuration for the vehicle. And yes, this is actually designed specifically for this map. As the description says, it is perfect for tackling prepared dirt tracks and swooping jumps in a predictable. I feel like it's missing a word there. It's in a predictable what? What it lacks in general off-road capabilities, it makes up for in handling and the ability to rip around Bajarama. And same goes for the other configurations. This one is made for the Endurodrome, for desert trails, and for West Coast USA, and we'll be trying them out on those maps later on. But right now, it's time to Bajarama. Well, first, here's just a quick look at the design on this one. The funny thing about this one is it has yeet on it. It literally says yeets on it. I had to point that out. Anyways, here we go. I should also mention, this car is exclusively rear-wheel drive. There is no all-wheel drive no matter what options you choose on it, which does make it a little bit hard to control sometimes. Like, it has a lot of power going to the rear wheels on a dirt course with a suspension that's made for durability more so than handling in those situations. So sometimes it can get a little bit sketchy. So notice I'm going through Bajarama kind of slow just because I'm mostly trying just to remain in control of the vehicle and finish a lap of this place without spinning out or flying off the course in some ridiculous way. But you see, every time we hit the jumps like that, it does still an excellent job at coping. Even though it has apparently less off-road capabilities than the other ones, it has more than enough to cope with all of the things that Bajarama can throw at it. Look at that. That was so beautiful. It was nice and smooth. The front end went a little bit diving, but I was able to fully remain in control. And this is bad. That was like as bad as you could have possibly done that, yet still the vehicle remained in control and we didn't spin out or flip even. Like that could have easily went to a flip, but no, it just kept on moving anyways. Oh, I shouldn't be trying to floor it here. That's how you slide all over the place too much. You know, the thing is though, we're going faster than I feel. Like I look at the speedometer, it's like, oh wow, we're going 70 miles per hour. I did not realize I was going that fast. And that was another nice landing by the vehicle. We were all crooked and it just fixed it up for me. Oh, this is going a little too slow through here. We're gonna hit all the bumps. Can the truck stay level enough? Yeah, it can. We kind of got pushed off the road a tiny bit, but it's doing a lovely job through here. Like, once you kind of get in the groove and just bounce like this, it's actually kind of fun. It's like on gas, off gas, and like a rhythm. It's basically a rhythm-based game at that point. All right, so let's do this one a little faster. That's better. I was like 70 miles per hour. Really flying through here, and it is really showing off how this truck has been designed for Bajarama. That was so easy, and normally going through that is a little bit difficult with most vehicles. You're going to hit the jumps kind of awkwardly, and the suspension just won't take it. Well, this suspension will. Whoa! Okay, I can take it, but it might try to flip on you a little bit. Just a bit off the course to make sure I didn't flip over. We're good to go. And that's a lap of Bajarama, so you can go ahead and we park this thing in the garage, and then we're going to move on to the next version of the vehicle we're going to be taking a look at, which is the Endurodrome version. So we got to go to the Endurodrome. And I'm pretty sure I've done the Endurodrome using a basic pickup truck like this one. So the Prerunner is probably going to be overkill, but it should be fun to use. So it says handling is out the window. All that matters here are big jumps and hard knocks, which this truck excels at. Bring on the Endurodrome. And I also should mention while we're here, the color changes do work as you'd expect. So normally this vehicle is red, but we can change it to orange, and the paint job is still there the same way, but the base color is different. And I only mention this because sometimes that doesn't work out when you have the fancy paint jobs on vehicles. And the paint job on this one, not as interesting as the other ones. It just has some crash test stickers on it, and that's it. So anyways, we are off. First jump, no problem. Second jump, also no problem. Third jump, you guessed it, no problem. This thing does perfectly fine on the jumps. Now, how about something like this, though? We have to swerve left and right. Well, we're going to take it real slowly and almost clipping the wheels on the barriers, but just missing them. I actually thought I was getting a crash right there, to be 100% honest with you guys. So I'll take that as me being lucky for once, which doesn't usually happen. Usually I'm unlucky. Cut that corner a little bit too much. I thought we were going faster than I was. We're going right here. I really can't remember which way is more fun, unfortunately. I think the right side was the one I like better. Yeah, because it has the mud pit. Go through the mud pit. Now, that was easy. I thought the mud pit might slow the truck down some, but nah, it's good. So we want to slow down through these rocks, just to make sure we don't hit it in an awkward way that could blow up the suspension. Although, all this driving we've done so far in the past 10 minutes or so, There has been no damage to the suspension that I've seen. It is so strong and so durable that it probably could have gone through those rocks without much care, even at higher speeds. But my brain was telling me, that's dangerous. Don't do that. The truck is telling me, don't worry, man. I got this. So I just gotta believe in my truck more. Okay, go as fast as we can, even if it means potentially tipping over on those corners. Like the way we gripped that corner, I thought we might have tipped. All right, this is gonna be a good jump. Just gotta make sure we're straight and aligned, flying. Nice landing there. I remember before when I was using a regular vehicle on this, that was actually a difficult jump to land. Not with this thing, although that corner was a little bit sketchy. I held my breath for a second. Can we go over this tube? Yeah. Like, I slowed down way too much for that because I couldn't remember how tight the corner was, but that was easy. Another big jump, 70 miles per hour-ish. Just make sure we don't crash. That was close. Almost skid right into those, but this thing actually has pretty good stopping distance for the kind of vehicle it is. I didn't expect it to do that well there. And that is a lap of the Endurodrome. We're gonna go as fast as possible on this last jump, see if we can roll the truck. No, this truck is too confident. It can't roll even if you try to. Alright, now we are done at the Endurodrome, so we can go ahead and go to the next map we're gonna be driving on, which is Desert Trails. And one neat thing about the Desert Trails version is we have two options to us. We have the regular one and then the alternate one. So the regular one says absorption of bumps and smaller jumps takes priority over precise handling and the ability to handle bigger air. But as a result, this truck perfect for gliding over whoops and cruising across the open tracks of Desert Trails. So go ahead and spawn this up, and then we're gonna also spawn up the alternative one, which is identical except for the different paint job on it. And then I gotta decide which paint job I like better. So let's see, which paint job do I like better? I do kind of like the camouflage on this one, and actually if you look closely, there's even a little bit of camouflage in the red of the vehicle, but the rest of it is just a little bit plain compared to the Falcon one over here. And that's not Falcon like the tire brand, it's just the word Falcon, although the paint job is very similar to the ones you see on their sponsored cars. But over here we have a lot more on it. We also got the Yeet still, we got Beppis, we got, I don't know what this is, it's Updog. What's Updog? Not sure. Then we also got Chonker Industrial. So this is just a lot more interesting to look at, so I think I like this one better. And before we go for a drive, why don't we take a closer look at the inside of this vehicle, because we haven't done that yet. So the inside of this thing is all custom made for the vehicle, and it has a functionality you like to see. Working steering wheel, working pedals, working e-brake, working shifter, and then also has the GPS over there that works, so you can see when we go onto the road, we are on the road in the GPS and the vehicle. Way over there, we also have like a map for your co-pilot to use to tell you which way to go, and got the seat for them as well. We got a fire extinguisher. It doesn't do anything, but it looks cool. And actually, if you look behind us, I think, yeah, there's the battery for the vehicle. I just now noticed that, kind of in the bottom right corner there. And another neat thing is if you look really closely at this thing, we have this extra digital gauge here, and it tells you a lot of little details about the vehicle. So it says the block temperature, the miles per gallon, the exhaust temperature, RPM, and then even the pitch and roll of the vehicle. You might think it's a plane or something, but no, this is a regular truck. Well, not a regular truck, but it's a truck that has this. And something's telling me we are possibly rolling over or something. That roll looks really bad every now and then. But all the numbers do change as you drive, which I thought was pretty neat. And then, of course, these gauges work as well, although I think I've wrecked the truck a bit because the tachometers are kind of gone. There we go. Now you can actually see it properly. The lights light up for when the brake's on. You know, all this stuff in here is good stuff, and it works just as you would want. And then there's also a noise when you turn on the headlights, and I can't remember if that's a normal thing or not. Okay, that's enough of that. Another neat thing about this vehicle, though, are the windows. So they have these mesh windows on them, and when you drive around, the mesh actually will move about. This is one of those things where nobody would complain if it didn't move, but it's really cool that it does. And I have no idea where I'm going. I'm just busy watching the window bounce back and forth, and it really is neat to watch. I like that. Like, it's just cool. Up, I think we're flipping over. We're right side up, and we're sideways. Well, you got to see the window a little bit. That's what's important. So how about we do some driving? We got two vehicles here, so we'll tell the AI to go whichever way they want, and I'm just going to follow them. Apparently, they decided to drive through the sign. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to Stay on the road. So how fast are they going to be going through here? They're sliding all over the place. They're trying to floor it, but they don't have the traction for it. Like, they're not very good at this. Like, I'm cruising around, barely accelerating. They're flooring it, sliding all over the place. And yet, here we are going about the same speed. Well, actually, I'm having to slow down for them. Right here's kind of cool. I could try to overtake them, right? Nah. I want to just follow them. Maybe give them a chance. Maybe they'll figure out how to drive the car a little bit better once they get moving, because, you know, they're having issues because they couldn't get traction at the start, but now they're moving, it won't happen. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, they're doing all right now. Oh, that looked a little bit reckless. Oh, they're off the course. All right, come on, dude. You can follow me now. I'll show you how to drive. Trust me. Yeah, they are not going to be able to keep up with me. I know that for certain. I don't even have to drive that fast. Look at that. All right, here we go. They are going faster than me, so I am at a disadvantage, yet they didn't even hit me. I thought for sure they'd probably hit me because they were so close to it, but nope. And I barely even hear their engine already. They're gone as far as I'm concerned. I'm just focused on me now. I want to drive this thing good and actually get through this terrain at a speed that makes me proud, which is the speed I'm doing right now. I'm happy with that. I feel like I'm in full control of the vehicle, yet there's always that small possibility something unexpected might happen where I crash. The perfect speed, if you ask me. I do notice, though, the road on this map seems to pop in a little bit. It's kind of annoying. And ironically, I swear, this place would be easier to drive on if you sat next to the road and drove along that instead of driving on the actual road. Alright, so here we're back to where we started, but this is not the whole map. This is just one of the many roads on it. They're all alternative roads, and so we don't drive the same road twice. I'm just going to cruise through the dirt areas, and look how easy this is. It's so much easier than the road. That's funny. We could probably get a big jump right here. Oh, that looks pretty good. Definitely do bigger with this vehicle, though, so bigger. That's bigger. That's also awkward landing, and uh-oh. That front right tire looks like it might have had it. I don't know. You see, it's not right, but I don't know if it's really affecting the driving too badly. No. Is that why I'm tipping? No, that's not why I'm tipping. I think it's okay. Like, it is damaged, but this thing is so strong, it's not damaged enough to really be noticeable somehow. Or maybe it's just the road is so bumpy that I never really go in a straight line, so that helps me not notice it. Not really sure, but either way, I don't notice it. That's what's important. It's so strong that even when it's broken, it's still strong. That doesn't make any sense, does it? Oh well. Let's go ahead and do another big jump. That cliff over there looks like the perfect place for a big one. Ooh, this is the biggest jump I've done thus far. Stop it. Oh, that was perfect. We just barely got into the water. I was able to pull it out. The landing was surprisingly smooth for how big the jump is, and we're still driving. Still feels like it's driving good even. This thing is amazing in its durability. There truly is no terrain that can slow it down besides like really bumpy and rocky where it could shred the suspension. All this stuff like this though, it's a breeze. What I gotta do is I gotta test it on a big jump and see what happens. That should be what we do. Because these jumps here, they're pretty big, but we can definitely go bigger. And look, there's the red truck. What's he doing? You notice right as I switched, the car I was driving, it kind of fell in the water. So anyways, we're going to take over control of the red truck. That way we can say we drove both of them, even though it's totally not necessary. And once again, we're back at where we started. How did this happen, red truck? You weren't supposed to be doing that. You're supposed to be going in a random direction. All right, here's another road, though. We could drive on this road because I want to do a little bit more road driving. It seems like I was doing a lot of the off-roading, but I want to see how well does it do going around corners. Does it tip over? Does it go up on the two wheels, do something dramatic, land on its wheels? Well, we're going to find out for sure. Although, yeah, I did some earlier, but this time I'm going to drive harder, drive faster. This time we're going to do it unsafe speeds, potentially. And I don't want to fly off the road because I'm just going stupidly fast, but I want to go fast enough where it's close to flying off the road. Feels like that's about the speeds we're going. It's just hard to get moving with the road being so curvy. Like, there's no good place to really floor it and get up to speed. You kind of just got to go about these speeds you're seeing. Here's a good space to speed up. Oh, but look at that jump. That looks like a massive jump, doesn't it? Come on. That was disappointing. How about this? Can we get a secondary jump off of it? That's better. That was a really awkward landing, though. Rolling about, rolling about. Can we land on our wheels? Oh, my goodness. It's like it got some magnetism to it, the way it just rolled on its wheels and kept driving. That didn't look right. It looked too easy. Can we climb this hill right here? This is a big one. I don't think it can. And we're losing traction. No, we cannot make it. We're going to fall backwards. And let's see. Can we tip it over a little bit? Sure, why not? All right. Well, that's going to do it for Desert Trails, I think. Now, let's go to the final map we're going to be driving on. This one is a stock map that you guys should all recognize pretty easily. It is West Coast, USA. And this version of the vehicle is designed for the paved roads, as the description says. Jump performance and off-road capabilities have been sacrificed for better performance on tarmac. Perfect for the slope streets of West Coast, USA. And we have done very little crashing so far. We've done a lot of driving, but there's not much to crash into when you're doing those off-road areas that are like big and wide open like we've been doing. So finally, we got a place where we can crash this thing, and we're going to do that. Big high-speed crash coming up. Over 100 miles per hour, just gonna fly into it. Some trees over there. Yep, we're gonna roll into it. Even better. Sure, why not? And let's just see what happens. Got pieces of the car flying in every which direction. And surprisingly, most of the body panels managed to stay on because the suspension took most of the impact and we only have one wheel left on this thing. The engine still works, but there's nothing for it to rotate. So we'll go ahead and try this again. Try to get a different crash going. Go up this road over here, and then we'll have a different target. Should be fun to do. Should be able to go real fast through this area because it has a long straightaway here. The only thing that's going to be difficult is keeping it in a straight line. But thankfully, once we're moving, it's a lot easier because we don't have to worry about wheel spin. We just floor it and hope everything works out okay. And it is going to do that. All right, hit that wall. Fly way over it, and we'll just keep flying for a bit. And once again, we have lost 3 wheels. How is it that I keep losing 3 wheels? And how is it they're all grouped together so nicely, too? Anyways, here's also a look at the damage of the vehicle. This is probably the most damage it's been thus far. But I'm pretty sure we can do even more damage if we go to the next road. So we go past the one we just drove, and then up here to this road. And on this one, we could probably get up to about 130 miles per hour, I would guess. I really don't know how well this thing's going to cope with higher speeds. It does a great job up until about 100 miles per hour, and then it gets pretty sketchy, it seems like. Yeah, sliding a bit. It's holding on, though. I'm not going to go quite as fast as I was hoping. Only about 115, 110 miles per hour, it looks like. We got a nice crash into the poor innocent building who didn't see it coming at all. Like, if you're a building just chilling there, you do not expect the car to smash into you at over 100 miles per hour, but sometimes it happens. Guess it's kind of like a motel or something based on the looks of it. I'm not sure. Don't care that much. Anyways, taking a look at the damage here, we really mangled that thing up. It's not driving, so we're going to reset it. And there's one small thing about the car that's kind of weird. The camera is not positioned in the same location as normal. It's like positioned a little bit more forward on the vehicle than you normally would see. And the best way to demonstrate that is doing a donut right here. You can see the camera just is slightly different than what it would normally be. But it works really good for having a camera angle doing donuts, which is kind of funny. Now, more wreckage time. How about we hit that thing? Can we use it as a jump? No, because we hit it upside down. That's not good for using it as a jump. And can we still drive it all? Yeah, we could back this thing up and do some more damage into it. Right into the wall. Ooh, we actually went up on the wall. Can we still drive? Yes, we can. So let's go up that jump again. Maybe this time we can get some air. Nope, we just crashed into it and now we're stuck. Not too much damage to look at, but we have immobilized the vehicle, so we gotta reset it. And this time, how about we do something different once again? This time, my focus is gonna be damaging the car up as much as I can without actually affecting its driving capabilities. We're going to start it off by doing a high-speed roll, which does have a good chance of potentially messing up the suspension, but this thing is a pretty durable suspension, so I think it'll be okay. So we're going about almost 100 miles per hour, and we're going to just roll it. Perfect. Now do a roll. There we go. That's what I wanted to see. Got the wheels flying off, a couple other pieces flying in every which direction. And are we going to land on our wheels? Maybe? Not quite. It was close, but it didn't quite make it, but we can always flip it upright. We got 2 wheels bouncing around, but those are just the spares. We got all 4 wheels still attached here, ready to go. And it seems like it's driving pretty straight. Might be pulling a little bit to the left, but not a huge amount. So we'll get up to speed and try to do another roll. Hit that corner, and we're rolling. Oh, ooh. I just smashed that roof in. That thing hit just the roof of the vehicle and just the passenger side. The driver's side's kind of okay somehow. So like, there gets to be a driver in this thing trying to drive it along. Although now it is pulling a little bit harder to the side, so it does take some effort to keep it going straight. We're gonna just ride the wall. That might be a little bit easier. Whoop, I didn't expect to ride it like that. Well, there goes a wheel. That's kind of gonna ruin my hopes, isn't it? Yeah, I don't have much steering with only one wheel. We can steer, but I also got to use the throttle to do a lot of the steering, it feels like, in this situation. So let's get ourselves back lined up on the road and keep on going. Come on, car, you can do this. There we go. There we go. Man, this engine is about to die, I think, though. It's smoking so much. And it's still going, though. I mean, it has enough power where even if it's damaged, it still can move. More damage, still drivable. But, oh no, we have even less steering than before. We can't do nothing. Here is a look at all the damage we got to that thing. That's quite a lot of damage on it this time. Probably the most so far. But I want to do some more crash testing type stuff. And to do that, we're going to move over to Gridmap. That's the best place for that. And for this map, we're going to be using the final version of the vehicle, which is the all-terrain alternate. And I should also mention, in addition to the paint jobs, there's some other visual differences on the vehicles as well. So for comparisons, I'm going to pull out the Endurodrome version because it's like the exact opposite of the all-terrain alternate. So you'll see, on the Endurodrome one, we have an extra pair of lights right on the front of the vehicle. On this one, we do not. But we do have an extra pair of lights on the roof, which the Endurodrome lacks. And then on this one, it has a regular windshield. Over here, we have this really itty-bitty windshield to look through. And if you're curious what it looks like from the inside, I can go ahead and show you real quickly. This is what you see from the inside. It's a little bit zoomed out from what you would normally use because I was looking at that window, but that's about the normal camera you would use. And for comparison's sake, what do you see from this one? A lot more. Like, it does limit your vision quite a bit. You do see the essentials, but if there's a bird in the sky, yeah, you can't see that. Anyways, back to the outside. On the all-terrain version over here, we have an extra air intake behind the window. So you can see there's a mesh surface that allows the air to go through it. And then over here on this one, we just don't have anything. It's just a metal piece, basically. This one has no mud flaps. This one does have mud flaps, and I do like the mud flaps because you can watch them move around as you move. It's like, oh, they're so neat. They flop out like real mud flaps. So cool. I don't even need to drive that much. Just shift back and forth a bit and you can watch them move. Now, in addition to that, there are also some other paint jobs that aren't used on any of the regular versions we've seen. So for example, there is the American paint job, which is a very patriotic one. I am saluting right now for our troops because, well, that's how you do an American paint job. You make the whole thing look like a flag. You want to know how you do it wrong? Like the British one, where you just put the flag on the roof and that's it. It's like, that's not patriotic enough. You gotta have the whole thing being patriotic, if you ask me. America just knows how to do it right, I guess. Anyways, we're going to go back to this guy, and this will be the one we're going to drive, so I don't need the other vehicle over here, so get rid of it. And this is the mobster skin that's used on this one. I didn't really give you guys a chance to look at it, so there's what that one looks like. And then let's go ahead and go for a drive. We're going to try a suspension test on this thing. We'll do it at half speed. Usually I do slow-mo or full speed. How about half speed for once? So you can see it's going over it pretty easy. There is a little bit more bumping than I expected, to be honest, but I remained in control, which is what's important. So now let's use the loop as a jump. We're going to get like up as high as we can, then just fly off of it and see how well this thing survives. Landing right on its side. That takes off 2 tires. That is probably the worst way the landing could have possibly went. Here's a quick look at the damage. And let's reset this and try to do some jumps that this thing can actually excel at. So we'll start off by hitting the big jump over here, which is not a jump you can usually do with most vehicles. It's actually pretty difficult. You also got to make sure you don't hit the looping area, so you gotta go slow through it, and that was actually pretty good. It landed and it still drives pretty straight, maybe a little bit of a pull to the left, but nothing significant. And now for the big test. Here we go. All right, this one I want some slow-mo on the landing to see it probably get wrecked up. You know, really, that suspension, it absorbed that nicely. We still got a drivable vehicle after that. How drivable? Let's see. I'm gonna line it up, trying to go about as straight as it can be. And then here I'm just going to accelerate gently, and you can see how much it's pulling. So yeah, it is pulling to the side some, but I can definitely compensate for that, and it's, at this point, still drivable. So let's go and try another jump and see how well it does that one. This one's actually going to be a little bit taller, I think, even though the jumps are the same size. We're hitting it at a higher speed, and look at that compression on the springs as we hit the jump, but I hit it crooked. That is possibly deadly, or it doesn't even matter. This thing leveled itself out somehow. I thought we were going to go into like a roll or something. Now I leveled it out, and again, a really level landing, which means the suspension does all of the absorption. Your spine is still broken from the impact, but the car still drives. Just put in a new driver and you're good to go. You know, actually, now that I see the rear fender hanging off the edge like that, I really like that you can see like the metal piece that holds it on. You can kind of see it on the right side, and then when the left side swings about, you can see it too. So that's pretty nifty. I didn't even notice that until just now. Now this is probably gonna kill the truck, because that was my intent. I want the truck to be destroyed here, and there goes the back wheel, so that's probably not gonna be able to do much at all at this point, is it? Nah, we can't really even put down the power, but what if we lock the differential? Oh, goodness. Oh, we can actually put down power. I gotta be careful with it though, because it's all going just to the right side. So yeah, that actually works really well. If you can't put down power, just lock that differential. There you go, you got some power again. Just gotta be careful to control it. So here's the final blow to the vehicle, probably right here, hitting this thing. And somehow the front wheels stayed on. Pretty much any other vehicle, you hit that thing, one of the front wheels is gonna fall off, or it's gonna be such a messed up suspension, it doesn't even matter. You got steering still though, and we can get this thing back upright, and I'm pretty sure it could still drive. Yeah, it could definitely still drive, but I'm not gonna bother because it just is a bit too slow. So here's a look at all of the damage on the vehicle, and then I'm gonna go ahead and reset this thing, and I wanna get it in a wreck that actually immobilizes it, just because after seeing it do that, it almost feels indestructible, doesn't it? So we're gonna keep it nice and simple. Go real fast, 120, 130 miles per hour, and smash into the wall dead ahead, head on. This should just completely crumple the front end and destroy the engine. That is my expectation here. Let's see if that's what actually happens. You can use a maximum slow-mo so you can watch the crumple. And engine broken and rear drive shaft broken, so there is absolutely no chance that this thing is going to be able to drive under its own power anymore. But still, that front suspension got some shape to it. Yeah, it's really crooked, but I can actually steer it some. Like, somehow you can still steer this thing left and right a bit. Not very well, but it has some steering. That's amazing. Anyways, here's a look at the damage it has, and what I really want to do now is I want to crash into this thing using a bus at a very high speed. So we're going to get the Hero for this one. And I'm just going to teleport this thing quite a ways back behind the vehicle. And then we're going to go full speed right into it. And with the Hero, we should be going about 100 miles per hour in this short distance. So it should do some serious damage to it, I'm thinking. Over 100, 120-ish. And actually, when we watch this, what we should do is use the truck camera, because that gets you a much better camera angle. And there is the smash. And I love how the speedometer is just instantly, we're going 113 miles per hour. Yeah, except we're also flipping at the same time. Trying to look at the damage that flies through the air is not the easiest thing to do. I'm going to go ahead and just speed this thing up so it comes to a stop so we can kind of take a closer look at it. As expected, body panels are destroyed, but if you look at that rear suspension, it's got some shape to it. So what I want to try to do, look at that bus, oh my goodness. What I want to try to do is I want to crash into the vehicle again, but a little bit slower this time. And hopefully we'll still be able to drive after this. So get the bus out the way. Then we just gotta watch this dude tumble around for a little bit, doing his little ballerina dance. Think it's gonna be okay though. Like, I didn't see any text come up saying this is destroyed, you can't drive it. And I like that the rear fenders being destroyed work as like little wings that help me level out. And yeah, we can still drive. A little bit of a pull to the side. You can see the axle's actually tilted sideways, but it's drivable, no doubt about that. We could even try to hit a jump with it. I'm gonna hit a jump that'll definitely wreck it though. We're gonna go over here and smash into some trees. Hit it as high as we can at the jump. That's pretty good. And into a tree. That is the finishing blow to the truck. And next thing I'm gonna do, because I think it'll be fun, because it'll excel, is I want to bring this thing over to Car Jump Arena and do the big jump. And for this, we could really use any version of the Prerunner. I'm just gonna use the all-terrain version because it's been a while since you've seen that one. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna go full speed and then slow it down a bit for this little lip area right here, and then full speed the rest of the way. We're not gonna let up on the gas at all. Just pedal to the floor all the way through the jump and even in the air, because when you have the accelerator down, when you're in the air, it helps keep the car a little bit more level. If you brake, it'll actually tilt it forward, which you might want to do. No, it's doing it on its own. There's the landing, and slam on the brakes. Slam on the brakes before it's too late. That was perfect. We went a huge distance, had a relatively smooth landing, and we didn't fly into the water because we were able to stop on time. This might be the perfect car for this. Let's see, does it still drive pretty straight? I'm just gonna accelerate gently. Yeah, that thing is driving nice and straight. In terms of damage, somehow the mirror got bent. Like, we hit the ground hard enough to bend the mirror. That's kind of funny. And then we lost the mud flap, and that's about it. Like, this thing is still ready to go. And I didn't get any wreckage off of that, so let's go ahead and get some wreckage. And now that I think about it, I don't need to slow down here. We can go as fast as I want. I got a beefy suspension. It can handle this. Are we gonna go as fast or are we gonna go slower? I actually have no clue. I don't know what speed we were going for sure at the end of the last one, but for this one, we're gonna be going about 160 miles per hour if I didn't decide to slide it right there. And there we go, wreckage is starting. Nice hard hit, destroyed the rear completely, no wheels left there. And it's just gonna slide to a stop. So there is some wreckage just as promised. Got some pieces flying by. There goes one of my lights flying by. Oh, look at that. He's actually spinning right there. Look at him go. I think he's actually glitched because he keeps spinning and spinning and spinning. Yeah, it's not going to stop. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on to Brutal Slope. Once again, for this, I could use pretty much any version of the Prerunner. So how about we go with the West Coast USA one, and we'll get it with a red paint job on it. And I think that'll make it a little bit faster because the cooler the color on your vehicle, the faster it is. It's a known fact. And the red works perfectly fine with this design. So we'll go ahead and go off the edge. And I had to go off the edge a little bit slow there because I was so crooked. I couldn't just floor it like I did on Car Jump Arena. And then we can now floor it though. And we should be able to get up to, I would think, 200 miles per hour with this thing. It's just really, what is it geared for actually? Turns out it's geared for about 190 miles per hour. That's quite a bit more than I expected. I thought maybe 150, 160 would be where it topped out, but that's the speeds we were hitting at Car Jump Arena. So we're almost at the block, so start the slow-mo up. A little too fast, but that's okay. Better safe than sorry here. And then take the camera off the car and watch it get crushed to bits. All right, not much else to look at here. Those tires about to pop off though. Got some fire into the mix. And bye-bye tires. And we'll go ahead and take one more look at the vehicle, or what remains of the vehicle. Yeah, okay, if you told me I was a car, I wouldn't believe you, especially the rear end. Like, the rear end, it has a shape that doesn't look carish. Like, that area right here, it just doesn't look like something you'd see in a car because this thing is not a regular car. It's a specially made off-road vehicle, which, something like that, yeah, that makes sense. You would have something that's all just tubular metal for structural strength like that. Anyways, time to finish things up at Leap of Death. And once again, any version of the vehicle will work fine here. So how about we use the Desert Trails version and we'll try changing up the color a bit. How about we do a green and blue? Those are two colors that don't usually go together, and there's probably a good reason for it. It's going to be, yeah, it's kind of ugly, but it'll work. It looks like it was designed by a child, this color scheme. And we can go ahead and hit this ramp. We're going to be going a little bit over 60 miles per hour, and now we just let it fly and see how far it can go. All right, it's really leaning back. There we go. Now it's leaning forward. I'm keeping it accelerating to hopefully try to level it some. And this is interesting. It's actually flipped itself over, and now it's just spiraling out of control. All I can do now is just watch. I have no more influence on whichever direction it goes. I mean, sure, I guess I could try accelerating, but I have no idea what it actually do. When we're flying through the air level, then I have a good idea of what's going to happen. So this is going to be maybe a 3 crash run. Nope. They kind of hit that last one a little awkwardly, so it's like a 4 or 5 crash run, depending on how you count them. So overall, tons of damage to the vehicle, nothing really glitching out or anything like that, and it's actually kind of still recognizable if you know what you're looking for. It still has that very recognizable shape in the rear, and then you can see some of the roll cage in the front, and then the engine is there, obviously, because the engines, they never break. They're just really big, solid pieces of metal. I want to try this again going a little bit slower. I want to see, can we try to like land this thing a little bit smoother on that first jump, or is it always just going to roll over on itself? Because if we could get it where the car is angled like this the whole way, we could almost drive down Leap of Death. So let's see. No, it always wants to like tilt itself no matter what. I don't know exactly why, but it just wants to tilt itself. So the only way we could do that is with a little bit of cheatiness. And I'm okay to do a little bit of cheatiness because I think this might be kind of fun to watch. Because like a real big test of the suspension here. So I'm going to let it fly for a bit all on its own. And then once it gets to the angle that we want for the landing, we freeze it. And I'm going to put it like onto a smoother surface down here and watch what happens just for fun. So like right here should be a good spot. Let's see if that, yeah, that looks like it'll work. So we'll get some slow-mo going and then watch what the suspension does. Oh my goodness, the front is just crunching down. It's going to be even worse in a second though, because it's going to start sloping. Here we go. Oh, look at this thing, how low it sits. The wheels stayed on though. The wheels stayed on. Oh, well, maybe I spoke too soon. No, I didn't. They stayed on. We lost the mud flaps right there. That's a small price to pay, to be honest. Oh, we also lost the front bumper. The front grille, actually. It doesn't really have a bumper. But that was amazing. Like, it worked exactly how I hoped. Here we're going to go for round number 2. I don't... Like, this would have to be just super lucky for it to actually land in a way where it'll actually work out. But let's see what happens. I don't think it'll work. But maybe, just maybe... No, it did not work. It did not work at all. So we got parts flying every which direction. You get a good idea of just how many parts are on this thing. And there's still a few parts even attached to it. So I'm going to go ahead and let this thing go full speed all the way to the bottom. It might not hit anything else again until it hits the water. I don't know. It has a lot of speed going in that direction. Yeah, it's going to make it to the water. Anyways, that will do it for this video. So until next time, this has been WhyBeAre. Remember, if you like or dislike this video, I will know. So do the right thing, and I'll see you next time.